The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret recurring subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com/bonus and use the promo code MANWHORE. I want to thank Tushy for sponsoring the Man Whore Podcast. Get 10% off your own easy-to-install bidet attachment and leave the toilet feeling fresh and clean. Visit HelloTushy.com and use promo code MANWHORE. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Oh, shout out to the voting vixens, swing state sluts, and canvassing cocksuckers. The midterm elections are next month. Make sure you're registered to vote. And this is the Man Whore Podcast. Yeah, I know it's not a politics show, but we're in a time of crisis, and we got some districts to flip. If you are interested in flipping the House of Representatives and Senate to, a more compassionate place for minorities, head on over to swingleft.org, see if a district near you needs some help. But me, I'm Billy Presida. I'm just a comedian with a fuck show. And this is a podcast where I typically talk to women I've hooked up with about sex, dating, and why we didn't work out. However, this week's special guest is not one of my former flames, although she is oh so fun and flirty. We've got on Lisa Davis, everybody. I think we decided to call her the producer of the book Clean Eating Dirty Sex, and a sex podcaster in her own right. Can't wait to share her with you all in a bit. But first, of course, show dates, people. Show dates. Okay. October 21st, I'm going to be doing some stand-up comedy at the Grizzly Pear on the 8 p.m. show. It's a free comedy show down in the Village. And then, oh yeah, Los Angeles, baby. LA fan whores, come on out. I am doing a live Man Whore Podcast show where I will be on stage with not one, not two, but 3, maybe even 4 of my exes. Because God help me. We're going to be doing that on November 4th at 7 p.m. at the Dojo of Comedy in Hollywood. That's above the Sycamore Tavern. If you want to get your tickets, and you should get your tickets, like right now. Let Billy stress out a little less about ticket sales. Go get your ticket today. You go to manwhorepod.com/tickets. Bring a friend, bring 5 friends. Come have a good time. Now, am I going to be doing some stand-up comedy in Los Angeles? Most likely. But I'll probably be booking all those shows up until the moment I get on the plane. So the only way you're going to know how to see me do stand-up in LA is, yes, if you are on my mailing list. Shortly before I depart for the West Coast, I will be sending out an email to all of my LA fan whores, letting you know where you can see me do the yucks. But hopefully I will be seeing you on November 4th. One more time, the ticket link is manwhorepod.com/tickets. Are you still listening after all that announcement-y stuff? Yeah, I hope you are, because oh wow, I've had a bit of a time. I've been running around for the last month or two between ManWhoreCon, then I went down to Desire, then I had to go out to Chicago, which was super fun. Shout out to the listeners who came and hung out with me while I was at over in Chicago. I had the Brooklyn Sex Expo, had a wedding on Saturday. Look, Billy's been busy, but I shared some time with one of my sisters who's always been maybe a little bit more skeptical about my lifestyle, what I do for work, my topic of sexuality. And she was driving me from New Jersey back into the city, and we had actually a good talk, because she's always been very inquisitive. She just doesn't seem to get it. The whole loving multiple people is not a concept she's really wrapped her mind around, but she's been a lot more fair in the recent time. And she was asking me specifically about losing the specialness of sex. When sex is part of my job, talking about it as part of the job. Having it is a fun perk and side effect of the job. She's like, how do you not lose it being like special or intimate? She was asking specifically about losing the intimacy attached to sex. And I think the first thing I said was, well, I think we have to define what is intimacy. I do a lot of fun, weird stuff. I think we all know that. But I only have sex that I want to have or that I'm really intrigued about having. I don't just fuck for the sake of fucking. And I think that has like kept it special. So that way sex doesn't feel like a chore. Like you never want sex to feel like it is a job. You don't want it to, I mean, unless sex work is your profession, but you don't want recreational sex to feel like a job. You don't want it to feel like work. You don't want to be wondering why you're having it, you know? Like if you're engaged in some sexual activity with someone and you're just so meh about it, like maybe stop. Maybe take a time out. Maybe say like, hey, actually, can we try this instead? Or, you know, I think I'm going to get going. I'm not feeling it. I don't, you know, like, look, I don't really eat bad steak. I don't eat steak often. Almost exclusively, I only eat steak when like I am out to dinner with a family member who's buying me the steak, or if I'm taking someone out for a really nice special date, or like I got a big payday, I'm treating myself to a steak. But I do not just like eat steak on the reg. And I think that has helped keep steak special by not having subpar steak. Every time I have a steak, it's awesome. Don't let steak get boring. Don't let sex get boring. But it was nice that, you know, she even asked. I had planned on using this time to rail against my preferred bourbon, Bulleit. I was in Chicago. I was at this gay bar in Chicago called the Heavy Feather, which was a fabulous place. I like that. Actually, in the bathrooms of this bar, they have little signs that basically say, hey, we want you to be having a great time while you're out drinking. If anyone makes you uncomfortable, if someone touches you, please come see the bartender. We would love to help make this a safer space for you to have your drunken fun night out. And I thought that was great. That's a bar taking active steps to, you know, foster an environment of consent. And I went to go order, you know, a bourbon. I was like, hey, can I get it? You guys got Bulleit? He's like, we don't carry Bulleit. And I'm not making that voice just because he's a gay man. This is what this guy sounded like. He's just like, we don't carry Bulleit. There was an incident like 6 months ago and we just stopped carrying it. And if you want, you can like look it up online. I was like, my phone's pretty dead. You care to fill me in? He's like, well, the founder of Bulleit died, and his daughter, Hollis Bulleit, who was like a big brand ambassador, you know, she was on the ins of the company. She came out publicly as a lesbian. And then she claimed she was pushed out. If you read any of the headlines of like articles people will share, it'll just say, Bulleit, you know, the first lady of bourbon fired for being gay, or claimed she was fired for being gay. That's terrible, right? And I was, oh my gosh, thank you one for informing me. And I'm so glad that you guys have some integrity, that you don't carry Bulleit. I will have a different thing. He introduced me to Buffalo Trace. That was fairly adequate. And I was like, I'm not drinking Bulleit anymore. And I'm gonna tell everybody. I got very sanctimonious about it to myself. I was like, I'm gonna be a hero. I'm gonna tell the world. So I was like, okay, let's go inform myself, not just talk wildly about a thing. And what the truth was that she, yes, was claiming that, but there was no real evidence of it. It seemed like her family was not a fan of it, but the board was not necessarily made up of just the family, because the bourbon was owned by like a way bigger and publicly LGBT friendly beverage company. The beverage company said like, no, her contract ran out and we weren't able to successfully renegotiate the contract. We just never came to terms. So it sounded more like a business thing, which is very plausible, than like, I'm gay and they hate gays. And later they came to a resolution. They signed some sort of deal, and Hollis came out and was like, I do not support these boycotts. Like we've came to an amicable understanding and blah, blah, blah. And we love to be outraged at a thing. We love sharing articles. We love being right. I love being right. You all know this. My exes have explained that that's probably a good reason why I am still single. We love to be right about like a moral issue. This place hates this oppressed group. We can now hate this big company. But that's not necessarily always the case. You got to make sure you read an article. I implore. This is one of my biggest pet peeves is people who don't fucking read. And it's fine if you don't read. What's not fine is when you read a headline or you read the tweet of an article, but you don't read the article and then also talk about the article like you know what you're talking about. I don't say this condescendingly. If you don't read the article, you literally don't know what you're talking about. Stop doing that. Most of the time when people share these like terrible things, it's usually accurate. But reading the article will give you more information or it will confirm this. But it's not always what it seems. If we took everything just by the blog headline, most of you would rightfully not be listening to this show. I read a thing that says Billy Procida is a proven misogynist and serial harasser of women. But if you read the article, if you read the blog post, you might think a little differently. Or you might see what the bias is in what's being pitched. So I now will go back to drinking my bullet, which I'm very grateful for because I do enjoy it. And Buffalo Trace just wasn't the right one for me. And Woodford, although I tried it, was lovely. Oh, gosh, expensive. This was supposed to be like a righteous, moral, hey, don't drink this bourbon because they hate queers segment. And then I read the article. And then I read a second article. And I was like, oh, this isn't what people were saying at all. So now this is more of just a public service announcement. Read more. Hi. Still listen to podcasts. That's definitely important. Read more and pay for your porn. Pay for some of your porn just a little bit more. And you can do that over at hotmovies.com. You all know me. Big fan of the hotmovies.com. Big fan of quality porn, ethically made porn, ethically viewed porn. What's going on over at Hot Movies? Well, you all remember Rosa Escandone. Hashtag Rosa is hot. Her favorite porn is a little old-timey classic, Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls. About, girls on roller skates delivering pizza and prostitution. Fabulous. Well, they've just put up at Hot Movies a remastered version of the flick, which I think is hilarious because it's like, we remastered E.T., we remastered Indiana Jones, and we remastered Hot and Saucy Pizza Sluts. Great. They've also got and this one is a little intense for me. This is going to be a marathon. I might have to make like a thing out of this, but there's a company called Pure Taboo. They just put out a non-musical remake of Annie. It's called Anne. But this is the kicker. It's 4 hours long. 4 hours long. Your dick will be chafed tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar you'll be all red tomorrow. There'll be skin flakes. I'm not going to carry that too much further, but I'm probably going to have to check that one out. And you can check both of these movies out and the hundreds of thousands more flicks that they got on there for free, if you care to, with a 40-minute free trial when you go to hotmovies.com/bonus and use promo code MANWHORE. Hashtag pay for some of that porn. Before we get to this week's guest, Lisa Davis, it's time for the fan whore appreciation moment. Okay, this is the part of the podcast where I like to thank a few of the members of my fan whore community on Patreon. It's essentially a fan club membership. You get to support this podcast financially. You get access to secret sex-positive discussion groups, access to over 100 bonus episodes of the Man Whore podcast. You get access to secret Patreon-only posts, which usually involve a picture of my penis. You get all of that and more when you go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. But you also get a shout out. Thank you and happy 20th anniversary to Brad Guigar. Congratulations, 20 years is a long fucking time. Keep it going. Thank you and a shout out to Becky Mares. Keep on trucking, lady. Keep on trucking. And a big old sexy thank you to Lydia Love, who is she's a cam girl and also does clips for sale stuff. She does really sexy solo porn clips. She's a good follow on the Twitter if you want to see how fucking cute this girl is. Her Twitter handle is @GenerichHo. I think it's supposed to be like generous ho or something. GENERICHOE is her Twitter handle. She's super fucking hot. And you know what else makes her sexy? She pays for her content. Yes, she does. She supports the show. And you too can become a member for as little as $1 per month. All you got to do to support this podcast is go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast, throw down $1, get yourself a membership, and join us in the champagne room. Lisa Davis is an author, a health sex expert, a podcaster. Her book coming out soon, Clean Eating, Dirty Sex, hits the shelves on January 15th, 2019, but it's available for pre-order today. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty about, what type of foods to put in your body before you're going to do the butt stuff. We'll also talk a little bit about being late bloomers, fat shaming, and sex addiction. Let's go chat with Lisa Davis.
I'm hoping to go back, but we can talk about this on the air.
No, you can say it right now.
No.
We're on. I will just find a convenient fading in point.
And I like how you do that. I need to start doing that. I think that's better. I like that. No, I was going to say, I'm supposed to go back on the Howard Stern wrap-up show this summer.
Wow.
And I'm very excited. My third time. Super excited. And I told my daughter I'd bring her, but I can't bring her. I don't want to bring her to the studio. Although my daughter's so funny. She's like, Mom, I know.
At the Sirius building?
Yeah.
Sirius buildings, they got a ping pong table.
Oh, do they?
Last time I was there, they had a ping pong table out in the lobby. Be like, here, you go play ping pong with, some famous rapper you probably don't even know.
Exactly.
And then I'll go do this show.
Well, it's so funny because, I tell her everything. I tell her too much is what she says. And she's like, Mom, I know more. She's just turned 14. She's like, Mom, I know more than any other kid my age. For example, if we're in the car and I put on Howard, they were doing this prostate karaoke. I thought it was so funny, where they were singing while they were getting prostate exams.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about this?
I don't have a car. I don't listen to Howard Stern.
I'm an addict. But they have this thing where they sent the guys on the crew to go to get their prostate exams, because it's very important. And they were singing karaoke during it. So the song would be like, I've been working on the railroad. Yeah. Obviously, they didn't sing that. But my daughter was like, Mom, what's going on? I'm like, well, they put the finger. She's like, Mom, can you not listen to Howard right now?
Yeah, it's like, you don't need.
But it's health reasons.
I used to do I sometimes do a joke where I go like, I went to the doctor and asked her to check my prostate. And she said, Mr. Procida, you're way too young to be concerned about prostate cancer this young. And I'm like, yeah, but my girlfriend thinks it's gross and won't do it. So it's fun.
But I'm bumped.
Yeah, the prostate's not a switch that turns you gay. It's just a button that makes sex awesome.
See, there's this big debate on Howard, too, that Ronnie the limo driver likes to be pegged, and everybody on the staff thinks it's gay. And I went and talked about it. I know. Although he's very pro-gay, but it's not. It's about pleasure, right? I mean, that's what's so... I don't get that. I mean, it feels good, then do it.
Prostate exam on air, that's brilliant.
Yes.
That's better. That might be better than when I interviewed a woman who gives happy ending massages while she gave me the massage.
No way.
Yeah, like that's all the way through.
I got to hear that.
That's a go. That one you got to hear to the very, very, very end. Like I put it in like a post credits, like in the Marvel movies, they got like a scene at the end of the credits. That's what I did. I was like, oh, and now the interview's over. Oh, here's my little outro. And then if you wait, Then you hear that thing all the perverts like to hear. So
That's awesome. I'm a pervert. I'd like to hear that.
Self-identified perv.
Yes,
Fantastic.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Yeah, that would be super fun. You've done some pretty cool things.
Oh, just stop it. Like what?
Well, I have to say, first of all, the premise of your show that you go back and talk to women that you've slept with, in addition to having, porn stars or sex experts and stuff on the show, I think is so cool. I would love to. I just think that's a brilliant idea. See, now here's the problem. Because I do so many shows, I'm going to end up interviewing you. So now I'm like, okay, so.
That's fine with me.
Okay, so how did this idea come to you?
Because I had this problem where women would sleep with me, but they wouldn't date me. And I wanted to find out why.
Oh, interesting.
At the age of like 23, 24, I was starting to get very, very frustrated. It just was happening over and over. I would get the feels for someone. She says, I just want to keep it casual. And normally when that happens, that just ends it. They were like, well, I want to keep it casual. You like me, so this is done. But that wouldn't happen. The women would just be like, no, you're going to keep coming over and fucking me. Come do the thing that you do good at, but keep
Then
your
go
emotional
away.
mouth shut. Yeah. They kept telling me basically like shut my mouth.
Really? With
They're
those
like-
blue eyes, I don't know. I'd keep you
Well,
around.
no, they're like eyes open, mouth closed. Like your emotions are ruining the sex for me.
Oh, really?
Something like that. Yeah.
So what have you found out during this adventure of yours?
That I'm slightly condescending to younger partners.
Oh, God, I hate condescending. Get out.
It's just so easy.
Actually, I'm much older than you, so.
It's just so easy if you've lived a significant amount more adult life than a person, it's hard to not condescend. I'm working on it, but
Well, maybe you need to go out with older women. We
I mean,
rock.
I prefer older women. I just end up with a lot of younger women.
How much younger? Like 10 years, 5 years?
I mean, I'm 29, so
oh
there's
my
only
gosh,
so
you're so young.
I know. Well, a little cherub. No, I would just like my last couple of girlfriends were 4 years younger.
That is young.
Yeah. And so when you're 22, 23, 24, it's like a very different phase of your life than late 20s or 30s. So,
Sure.
I mean, I would love to have a girlfriend who's in her 30s or 40s. Like that's
Yeah.
way more my preference. I think when I hook up or go on a date with someone of that age, they don't view me as relationship material.
Oh,
I think that's another thing that will come up in when I do these shows. Is the older ones see me as something fun, and I'm also very boyfriendy. I like cuddling. I like holding hands.
So that's awesome.
Right. And so they were like, oh, well, I'll get enough of a boyfriendy vibe that I feel comfortable hanging out with him, but they won't view me as like someone they can commit to.
Really?
I'm also very poor, and I feel like that doesn't work well when you're trying to get commitment
When
from
I
someone.
met my husband, he was a guitar builder,
Oh.
making very little money. We lived in like a 350 square foot place.
Yeah.
And we were both broke, but he was just awesome. So, and now he's doing great
And you-
financially. So I'm just saying, like, you just don't know. That wasn't something
Ladies,
that was
invest
important to
in me. Come on.
Yeah, you never know. And even if you don't,
I mean, I'm coming up in life. I just moved out of a 5-bedroom into a 4-bedroom. Just one
Very
less
nice.
roommate. So that's
No, we would need roommates if we went to New York.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
everyone needs roommates.
it's so expensive. It's just insane. But, I wanted to ask you about the dating someone in their 20s because, like I said, I'm older. I've been with my husband for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So last time I was single was in the 90s. Okay. Mid to late 90s. Well, we met at 98. Okay. So, actually we met in 97, but then I was with somebody else. So we met the next year we got together.
Sure.
Anyhow, it's so different now. I mean, when we had our relationship, we were apart for 6 months and
Yeah.
we were just, all we had is phone and email. At
And
that
even
point.
email was still like you're still figuring out how to send,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, it was pretty new.
No emojis.
No
emojis.
No, you had to make your own.
Yeah.
And with a little, what is it,
what-
dash and the smiley face? Or
Really?
not
I don't-
the dash.
I don't think
What is
I'm-
it, the semicolon. Not the
Well,
semicolon.
No, we had
or whatever.
semicolons, the colons, the parentheticals.
semicolons,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't think Americans knew what a colon was until emoticons.
Yeah,
I don't think we knew that that dot with the comma,
yeah,
that's a thing. Oh yeah, it's used to make winks. That's all.
exactly.
Winks and ordered lists. But
But nowadays, it's so, I wouldn't even know where to start. It just seems so incredibly different with the Tinder and the apps and the breaking up on Facebook and but that's all you've known, right? I mean, if you're 29 maybe not all, you're dating in high
Tinder
school.
came about when right after I graduated college. So when I was around 23, Tinder popped out.
Wow.
But before then, there was like this, it was like a online dating site for kids in school specifically. And it was like a beta thing I used for a couple years. But other than that, I just met everyone in real life. And even now, everyone I meet is still like anyone I've met that's been really significant in my life has been in person.
Oh,
I
cool.
slept with a woman for 9 months. She's my physical therapist. I met
nice.
a girlfriend at a sex party. I met a different girlfriend at like a poly movie night. So even if I try to meet like a girlfriend through the apps, I still end up meeting them just in random fucking real world places.
Oh, we got to get back to the sex party.
Sorry. Oh, what about?
Just tell me all about it.
Well, first let me
live
say
vicariously.
Well, first let me say I'm here with. Is it Doctor?
No, I have a master's in public health.
Okay,
Master Lisa. No, but that'll give you.
Master Lisa Davis is a way sexier way to say it.
That's true.
What do your titles do you say? Sex podcaster now for sure.
Yeah, sex podcaster, health educator, beauty podcaster, just healthy living. I have a book coming out in January, Clean Eating, Dirty Sex.
Yep.
And I'm very excited about it. But I've been in health media since 98. Long time. I started in television. And
wait, television doing what?
I had a show called Health Power.
Wait, you had a TV show?
I had a TV show on a small station in California. And
back in the 90s, back when like it was
90s.
It was per the stations. Back when you had that like stations pick things up rather than like, yeah, no, that thing's on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty cool. No, I had to bug the guy for 6 months who ran the station because I was a nobody. I had just graduated from graduate school.
Right.
I studied health communications and I said, look, I know I could do a kick-ass show. And he's like, so I did some stuff and I showed him and he's like, okay, I'll give you one season. We'll do one show and we'll see. And it was awesome. I had, the couch and I sat on the chair and it was a nice set. And I would have the guest, like the expert on for 2 segments and then a real person who did whatever the expert was talking about. Let's say it was for acupuncture or, whatever else they talked about. I love television. I thought it was so much fun. But then I moved here. I moved from California to the East Coast in 2000. And it was really tough. I mean, it's just a tough market. And so there was nothing. And then a friend of mine worked at a community radio station and she said, hey, Lisa, I'm leaving. Do you want my spot? I talked to the manager because it's hard to get in because nobody wants to leave. You're not getting paid, but you get kick-ass experience. It's a really nice, radio station. Mm-hmm. And I thought, sure, what the hell? And then I realized like a couple weeks in, wait, I'm not on TV. I could fucking talk to anybody. Like it doesn't have to be in person. And so I just started reaching out. And the first big person I reached out to was Suzanne Summers. And somehow her publicist said yes. And then after that, it just kind of went up. And then all of a sudden I was interviewing like the same people that are on all the national shows, even though nobody knows who I am and I'm a community radio. And then after doing that for a few years, I started getting my show out there. And now I'm on some NPR stations and some commercial stations. And it's awesome.
Yeah,
but
before
it's
you were
funny
saying
how you can just do, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying you before when you told me like, oh, I have one show that's on some stations in like Texas and then Midwest. I'm like, oh, so people can't even hear the thing in like your hometown? It's like
they did for a long time.
You go to Whole Foods, be like, oh, how's that show going? Where can I hear it? You can't. You don't live.
No, you don't live in the. But if you go to itsyourhealth@lisadavis.com, you can all
hear
the
all
shows. You can hear all of it. No, but I was on locally in the Boston area for a long time. Okay. But then, But anyhow, so that's how I got started. So I tell people, go to the community TV, go to the community radio, like do what you can. People always ask, how did you get started? You got to just do it. And I worked for free for a super long time. Like most of my career.
Yeah.
It's not lucrative, but I love it.
The being an on-air personality or the Masters in Public Health?
Everything.
Okay. So you have all these shows,
Yes.
but the reason you stuck out to me was the Clean Eating, Dirty Sex, the book that you've got coming out, because I've been thinking for the last couple of years about what I put in my body and how it affects my sex life. Because it's starting to happen now. I mean, I'm starting to get a little bit older.
Sorry, I'm just laughing. I'm like, I'd give anything to be 29. Go on.
I mean, I'd give anything to have the respect of someone of I don't even know how old you are. Just so like, it just seems like when you're in your 20s,
it's a mystery. No, actually, it's not. I say it all the time, but go on.
Well, no, but
say it later.
Sure. We'll come back to age if you want. But just the idea of like I'm starting to notice like the effects things have.
Yeah.
So there's someone I'm going to be hanging out with on Thursday, and like hopefully she may be putting stuff in my butt, and so like I know that today's Monday. Tomorrow I'm going to start like not destroying my body with certain foods.
Yes.
Just to get a couple of days of like cleaning out and emptying out and whatnot.
Oh, that's
so
good.
it's weird that like I I'd be like, are we doing butt stuff? Okay, I got to plan this like days in ahead.
Okay, so what is she going to put in your butt?
To be determined. I don't even know if it's going to happen. We're just
Really?
I just want to like leave that opportunity available because
good.
she's hinted that she is into things of that nature.
Okay.
She likes to take on a little bit more of like a dominant personality, which I like.
fun.
I like a leading lady.
Yeah.
It's probably why I liked older women so much for so long, because I was like, no, I just want to follow. Teach me things. Like, yes, I can. Yeah, I'll be your daddy and I can do the spanking, but more fun over following.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, no, she's made. So I have some toys. I've got some butt plugs. I've got a little 5-inch glass dildo I like sometimes. She's got 5 fingers, I'm pretty sure. That whole.
Not 10.
No, well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can't even fit 5.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, and then I also have this it's a prostate massage stimulator, they call it, because it's not quite a plug, but it does have a flared base to plug in, and it's not really like a dildo because it's not really meant to be thrusting. But it vibrates like a motherfucker.
Wow.
It's the LX3 Plus for anyone interested, and so that one feels great.
Sounds fun.
So. I don't know. But like I think about now what I'm putting in my body. And I also think about if I'm going to have sex, like I get very nervous eating shitty food 24 hours leading up to like a date. Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, am I going to feel too gross to have like good, active, multiple times sex?
Yeah.
If I eat X, Y, or Z, or, I don't know. There's been so many times someone's hit me up for a booty call and I'm like, oh, I just ate pizza. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be good.
Yeah. And by the way, I had tons of garlic at lunch. Not really. I mean, right afterwards, I was like, oh, fuck, this poor guy. So if you need to like turn your head or plug your nose.
Stop it. That's never going to be a thing for me. No,
I love garlic. But getting back to the nutrition, it is super important. I mean, my advice is I'm all about high fat, high healthy fat. Okay. So avocados.
Ugh.
You don't like avocados?
I don't eat fruits and vegetables. I should.
Okay, we have a lot of work to do because the main thing you need for healthy sex drive, healthy sex life, performance is antioxidants. You need nitric oxide. You need arginine. You need all these things, flavonoids.
And those are all in.
They're all in. Yeah.
Well,
especially berries.
I have defied the odds.
Ooh, that thing's heavy. Oh my God. I think he broke my toe.
Oh my God, did I land on you? I'm so sorry.
Yes, no, it's okay.
I dropped that record.
So how are you? Okay, so do you like...
How am I alive? I don't know.
Okay, so berries. Do you like berries at least?
No.
You don't like watermelon? That's one of the keys.
Not really.
Who doesn't like watermelon?
Me.
Okay, so what are we going to do with you?
I don't know.
Serious. Okay, here's the thing. You're 29 now.
Yeah.
So when you're younger, you can eat more crap, but as you get older, those issues come up, which actually keep you from coming up. And that's when you're really going to want to increase those flavonoids and the antioxidants and everything. And that's all in my book. I want to say Cleaning and Dirty Sex. And now I'm concerned. Now I'm going to have to bug you.
Everyone
but in a nice
should
way.
be.
I'm a mom. So I'm like, oh my God, you're not eating your fruits and vegetables.
I mean, and please, like a gorgeous woman in a dress, like acting like my mom, being like, do you want to be a good boy?
Oh,
yeah,
I
just
can
please
help you.
keep doing that.
If you eat your vegetables, la da 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 da. You fill in the rest. No, but really, you really should. What the hell? Okay, so there's no vegetables.
You're acting like every adult woman I've dated.
Yeah. Well, I worry about you.
I should clarify. Hold on. All the women I've dated have been adult women. I just realized.
I was about to say that.
I was like, that was a weird sentence.
Over 30.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I view adult as like you own a house or a car.
Okay,
like that's
I
what
get
being.
it.
You know what I mean?
No. When I was your age, I was broke. I was single. I was broke. I was just not like, what am I doing? It was crazy. So I don't know. It's tough now you're 29. Look at you though. You got a kick-ass podcast. You live in New York City. You're on the prowl getting things shoved in your ass. I don't know. It sounds pretty good to me.
Oh, stop. You flatter me. What are we going to do with me? I don't know. I've done a lot of different diets. I did Weight Watchers on and off for several years. That one was the most successful for me. But I just have eventually phased out of it and I can't really afford it anymore.
Now, is that because of the packaged food or is it like, how does it work?
I never fucks with the
I hate all those dieting things. Don't do them with the packaged. I've heard the Weight Watchers is good though, like with the points and stuff.
Yeah, you can eat anything you want so long as you stay within the points.
Okay.
So that was good for me because it didn't force me to eat an apple. It incentivized me to eat an apple because I'm like, well, I'm hungry and it's 0 points. I'll fucks with this apple from like the food cart, the cart on the street.
Get a Pink Lady. They're really crisp. They're really nice.
Is that type of apple? I really know nothing about
Get
healthy
a Pink
foods.
Lady apple just because it's so delicious and it's crunchy and sweet. What about grapes? I know they have a lot of sugar.
I don't fucks with grapes.
You don't fucks with grapes. I've heard if you freeze grapes, my grandmother used to tell me this. They're really good. What else?
I would when I was doing the other one I did for a while, slow carb diet, the one that's in that Tim Ferriss book.
Yeah.
So super fucking hard and miserable, but worked. Like if I did it, pounds flew off. And so one thing I would do is I would mess with celery and peanut butter.
That's good because this peanut butter has the healthy fat.
And celery is just
get
water.
One without full of crap. No. Celery has something called androsterone, and it's a hormone that helps with your sex hormones and balance.
Oh.
Yeah, so eat some celery.
I'm going to stock up on celery.
Celery is good stuff. And in the book, there's a whole list of food and what to eat, how to make it, and great recipes and stuff. But there's also, I'm very self-deprecating, so I share some very funny stories in the book. One of them I'll share if that's okay.
Sure.
So I used to masturbate like a madman when I was a kid.
Okay.
I started at age 4, which they say is unusual, but anyway, I masturbated.
I had an ex like that. I didn't think that was weird.
You didn't think that was?
No, it was more a lot of like humping the stuffed animal and realizing that feels good. And then
when you were 4,
not me. Like I had an ex
friend?
who
she was doing that.
She said that she discovered it when she was like 4-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I was like to town, so I would lie on my stomach and then I would kind of roll back and forth.
Yeah.
And I would do it watching TV or in the family room. My dad would come and he would kind of like kick the side of my leg and not hard, just kind of tap me. And he'd be like, "Hi, honey." And I was like, "Oh, hey, Dad." He's like, "You could do that upstairs." But it was the 70s. They never said, this is called masturbation.
But is this so clear that that's what you're doing?
I don't know what I was doing.
Is your hand underneath you when you're doing it?
No.
Or you're
just rolling.
Then what do they? Oh, okay.
But he was just, I think they weren't. Back then, people didn't say this, but at least they didn't say that's bad.
Sure.
Because that's what happened. So I was at a friend's house, my friend Alicia, and her very Catholic mother, and they're like 6 kids who are all in the living room watching TV. And I don't even realize I was doing it. And she was like, "Oh my God, Lisa, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's a sin and this and that." And I just thought, thank God I'm Jewish because we don't care about that. And my parents are always like, just go in your room. But I felt guilty because I knew, because what would happen is when you do that, it can get irritated. And so I would look at my vagina and be like, "Oh God, it looks irritated. Am I hurting myself?" But see, I had no one to talk to. I had no one to say. That part's not in the book about the broken or irritated vagina, but just the part about doing it at a friend's house. It's kind of embarrassing.
So where'd you learn about sex? Where did you first start to actually understand?
It's funny. I was so naive. It's not even funny because I was like dateless. I was super skinny, like gross skinny. Like back in the 80s, women with a figure was a good thing. Unlike the 90s when everyone was wayfish. Now it seems like we're back to curves. I mean, it's just so fucking annoying. I don't know why women can't just be whatever size they are, but people called me Olive Oil. I don't know if you know who Olive Oil is.
Yeah, from Popeye.
That's not an attractive cartoon.
Olive Oil is cute though.
Well, everyone said I was.
She's supportive of Popeye. She's really nice. She's kind of quirky. She's like a Zooey Deschanel of her era.
See, I never saw it that way. Well, the jocks would tease me because my hair was super frizzy, so I didn't have product back then. So I didn't know what to do with my hair. It was just like this big puffy mess. So I would slick it back with some oil, believe it or not, like baby oil or Vaseline. That was just ridiculous. And I'd put it in this like high pony and then kind of put rubber bands around it so it looked like olive oil. It was, I know. It was horrible. I was not. And then the 80s fashion, mix it with that. And I was just skinny, no figure at all. I didn't get my period till a month before I turned 16. I had no boobs, nothing. And so I was just in the dark. I just didn't know that much. My friends would talk about sex, but kind of hush because I think they didn't want me to feel bad because I couldn't get a date. Every guy that my friends tried to set me up with, they always went out with them because my best friend was like drop dead gorgeous. And it was very frustrating. So I didn't really even know that much about like, I remember going to college. I was still a virgin.
But did your parents ever teach you anything?
No, because my mom, it's funny, my mom took my sister to get on birth control. Okay. Because she had boyfriends. But I never did. So she never said anything to me. I think she just figured she's not dating. She's not active. She doesn't.
School?
I mean, I knew about it, but it still seemed really complicated. You know, like I remember in college, a friend of mine said she had sex in a stairwell. And in my brain, I'm still like, but aren't you in a bed? Aren't you laying down? Isn't this like you have all your clothes off? Like I didn't understand the intricacies. I mean, it's really embarrassing. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. Although on my 18th birthday,
tilt you.
Okay. On my 18th birthday, I did get a great present, which is also in the book, that this guy I met camping went down on me.
Okay.
And he wanted to have sex with me. And I wish I had said yes, because I made the mistake of telling this girl, and I was with my family. I told this girl, she told my older brother that I wanted to have sex. My older brother talked me out of it. You don't know this guy. You've never had sex. It's on a camping trip. Because he's like a protective. We were really close. Don't lose your virginity this way. This is a stranger. So my sister and I left in the middle of the night because I told the guy I'd have sex with him the next day. And then we left. And I was so mad because I could have gone to college at least having had sex, not feeling like such a fucking loser, you know, like I always felt like all through high school. So I first had sex with a friend when I was 19, and it was terrible because I wasn't into him and I just wanted to get it over with. And then, and then I just was sleeping everywhere once I got used to it.
So you're saying you were learning through practice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long did it take you to learn anything of substance?
When I was 20, this is where it all changed. I went to Israel. My grandfather paid for me and my sister to go and stay in a kibbutz. And we went. I took a year off college. And I met this guy. I was 20. He was 24. He was bisexual. He taught me to give a blowjob. I had no idea what to do.
With someone?
With him.
Yeah, but he didn't go get a cute guy to.
No, he had me
teach on you?
practice on
Okay.
him. Yeah, he's a smart guy, right? I mean, why haven't? And apparently I'm very good because that guy, we spent hours and hours and hours on everything. And then he
your
would
poor
go down
jaw.
on me. I know. It was terrible. No, it was okay. But it was good because then I felt confident. You know, like I had something up my sleeve from being this like awkward, kind of quirky, weird girl who couldn't get a date to being like the blowjob queen. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Self-proclaimed, I guess, but no complaints.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, so what led you down the path of public health, of like learning about the body? Like, when did you start taking the body
the health stuff
with the sex stuff? Yeah. When
Well,
you started mixing those.
Yeah. Okay. So the health stuff started when I was in high school because my mom had severe health problems and then she died when I was in my 20s. And so that really broke my heart. And I just saw what a struggle it is when you don't have your health. So I started getting really into health when I was around 17 because we started having a lot of problems around then. And then the sex stuff came in kind of always, like I've always had an interest in that. But honestly, it wasn't until 2 years ago when I was talking with a friend and he was joking with me and he said, "What are your two favorite things?" And I said, "Clean eating and dirty sex." And he said, "That's a book title." And I said, "Fuck, that's a book title. I'm writing this book."
Isn't that great?
Like, that's how
so
it
many
happened.
books get written this way where it's like a title and there was no plan to write a book,
No.
but they're like, whatever this title is, you should write something for it.
I should write. Exactly. And so to make a long story short, this woman who, oh, wow.
Did I do that?
Yes, you did, but that's fine.
Do you have a secret switch?
Yeah, there was years, and we're in my studio.
Hilarious.
Where I did not know that I even had lights.
So I am surrounded by every dieting book that's ever been written.
Yeah, you can borrow whatever you want.
Every single one is here.
I've read all these books.
And so there's just stacks and stacks of books. So I leaned into one stack and like hit this hidden light switch behind, literally a hidden light switch behind all the books.
There's so many books you can see. I don't even have room for, and there's about 500 more upstairs.
And
but,
which of these books do I pull to open up the secret
I know.
alleyway?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love that. But anyway, long story short, I was talking with a friend who has a published book and she said, "Lisa, you need to write a book." And I said, "Well, I have this idea." And I told her the title and she said, I'm going to email my literary agent right now. Within 10 minutes, I had a literary agent. She loved the idea.
Amazing.
And I even said, I'm not a good writer, which I'm not. And that's unfortunately, but I have the connections, I have the platform, and I have the education so I can do, and I was a sex educator for a while, so I can do this. And so honestly, with the help of my brother and sister, my sister's a great writer. My brother's fucking funniest person I ever met. We wrote a book.
So what was there anything you discovered? I'm assuming you did extra research on the ties between sex and eating, right?
Yeah, a lot
in
of
addition
stuff,
to whatever
yeah.
you already knew. What was the thing that was most surprising to you that you hadn't known before this?
I think I knew how important food is. I talk about a lot on my shows is food is medicine. But one of the things I think was just looking at the studies about especially flavonoids that are found in berries in particular.
Flavonoid, that just sounds made up. I'm just telling you, like if you were my mom and I was 12 and you told me I need to eat more flavonoids, I would tell you you're making that up to get me to eat this.
I'm not. But just like how much of a difference it can make. I mean, there's men who reverse their erectile dysfunction through diet. Now, it's also through exercise. You can't just. But one of the things, too, is I interviewed over 50 people in this book, different experts from sexologists, psychologists, dietitians, medical doctors who have a more integrative bend. One of the people in the book I love, his name is Dr. Dudley Danoff, and he's a urologist. He wrote a book called Penis Power, which is such a funny name.
He's just like, I'm going to stick to the alliteration that's followed me in life as Dudley. What was
Dudley
it?
Danoff.
Yeah.
Yes, Penis Power. He's out of UCLA, I think Mount Sinai. He's fucking great. But he was telling me that when men come to see him, if they're out of shape, he'll say, look, I'll give you Viagra, Cialis, whatever, as a bridge, but you need to make these lifestyle changes. And he said most of the time the guys come back and the ones who've made the changes are like, I don't need that, the pills anymore. And it's really astounding. And it's not, the thing is, it's not just sexual health. It's overall health. Like I've told people, even if you're celibate, you could get this book and still benefit because it talks about motivation. It talks about how to make the changes, why to make the changes. It gives you all this advice from all these different people. Because I thought my shows are popular because I interview the best of the best. Why not fucking put them in a book? And there it is, guide to, basically a whole healthy lifestyle change guide right there. But I do encourage people to have sex.
Also that too.
Also that too.
I feel, even if I'm not fucking that much, like last year when I was still in this longer relationship I was in, we had a period of time where like I wasn't really, though we were non-monogamous the whole time.
Yeah.
I wasn't really sleeping with anyone else or maybe one other person kind of, or wasn't really like swiping through. Didn't feel sexy, didn't feel great. But I was then working out. This listener, shout out to Prickly Peach, somewhere out on the West Coast. He's like this personal trainer type guy. He sends me a spread. I was like, I want to get back in the gym, but I don't want a gym membership, like, cause poor. So he sends me a spreadsheet of all these different exercises to do. He's like, here's, do 3 of these each week. You do 3 of these, whichever one, and log your scores. Here's how you score each one.
Yep.
You just cycle through these exercises. I'm going to check in, see how your progress is going. And these were all exercise routines that took anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'd be
body weight exercise.
Yeah, it's all body weight.
Yeah,
it's all
amazing what you can
burpees,
do.
Push-ups, pull-ups, squats, mountain climbers, stuff like that.
You don't have to join a gym. There's so much. Go for a freaking walk, right? And do all this stuff with your body weight.
Yeah, I loved it. And I was working out 5 to 6 days a week. Felt clean. Now I wasn't doing anything dieting. I didn't pair it with a diet. So my weight wasn't necessarily going down that much, but I felt fit. I felt cleaner. I wasn't stuffing myself that much. And I just it felt overall good in good health. And I had this mental, I was in a better fucking mood.
It really makes a difference. It does. And, they say it's the 80% in the kitchen, 20% working out. So if you really want to have sustained weight loss or any weight loss, you really have to get in the kitchen and make the changes. But that's, I can help you. Because now, like I said, you got to eat. There's got to be a vegetable or fruit. Come on. No, I
Vegetables are easier because they, a lot of them are somewhat tasteless, but.
You put dressing.
Yeah. Well, I just think I don't like dressing.
Before you leave today, I'm making you a salad, and I'm telling you, I have this dressing that you love.
See, I can eat like a Caesar salad without the Caesar dressing.
Yeah,
I can do that, or with chicken, either with or without
Caesar
chicken.
Dressing. I'm kind of weird about dressing too,
but I just don't like creamy.
I don't like
stuff. I think there's a olive oil vinaigrette type. There's some sort of Italian vinaigrette dressing that my hometown restaurant that I grew up going to, they make it. That one I can handle.
Really?
But I can't. It's they all feel gross.
Yeah,
they all feel slimy. They feel,
Now you got to get Bragg's, Braggs. It's a vinaigrette, and I usually don't like vinaigrette. I'm telling you, my daughter, 14, she'll eat salad every day with that stuff on it. It's really good.
Here's where food gets interrupts my sex and dating life in a very different way. And that because I don't want to call myself a picky eater, but I'm pickier than most.
Sure.
And in going out to dinner with someone, if they are a newer partner, that becomes someone wanted to go on a first date to dinner, and I was like, I no, because I don't want them to find out I'm like a weird eating person or fussing over like, oh, is there anything at this restaurant you can eat? It's like, yes, I'll find something. I just don't want you to worry about me.
Exactly.
So then there's this anxiety about ordering the food.
Yeah.
That I don't want to deal with until someone has like fallen in love with me and can't get out easily.
Is it like an on the side kind of thing? Because I do that a lot. I'll have this on the side, that on like the Harry Met Sally on the side.
I get a hamburger either sometimes with bacon, sometimes without, and then nothing else on it.
I get a hamburger wrapped in lettuce. So
I do sometimes
really
do that.
nutty,
That was
right?
when I was doing the slow carb, I had to switch to that.
Yeah.
And that I can do.
I like that.
Lettuce wrap. But like I don't have like tomato, no garnish. No cheese.
I don't like cheese either.
Sometimes I throw extra
See,
bacon on it.
we should be dating.
Well, there you go. But there's the anxiety that I think we don't talk about often of the like ordering the food with someone else or eating in front of someone else.
Yeah.
How many times do you hear about someone who said, oh, I don't want to order if you're not eating because I don't want to just be eating in front of you.
See, I have no problem with that. I love to eat.
Yeah?
I'll eat. I'll eat anything. I'm not one of those women you go out and you just eat like a bird.
Right.
My husband used to crack up because we would go out to eat. I would have an entree and then I'd have a second entree. It was so good.
Whoa.
But no dessert. Just two. If I really like the entree, or sometimes a third. Now that was when I was in my 30s. Now when you get older, you eat like that. I'll be as big
Were
as a
you
house.
still like same shape?
Yeah. I mean, I was probably too thin then because now I'm like a hourglass.
You were thinner and we're eating 3 entrees?
Yes.
Lady. Wow.
You made me feel lately I've been feeling like I'm a house, but I think it's because as you get older. Well, when you get older, stuff starts to shift. That's why I'm saying get work out now.
Well, working out's always been easier for me. I have a shoulder injury I'm just finished recovering from. So I had to switch off of body weight stuff and switch back to like careful dumbbells, but I want to get back to where
it's hard when you're injured. I get injured constantly. Yeah. It's so frustrating.
And it's damaged my fucking mental health. And
it does.
And I felt less sexy because of it.
Yep.
Because here I was, this guy, I'm strong, I'm fit. Like I don't have abs, but like I can run a mile in 7:30 and I can do this many pull-ups and I felt fit.
Yeah.
And when you feel fit, you feel sexy. And it's not about, I don't think this is about fat and thin. I don't think this has to do with a fat thing or a weight thing.
No, I don't. Yeah.
It's about fitness, like overall health and fitness.
I agree. Yeah. I think I'm one of the few people in the health world that I don't like that. Like you have to be a twig. You have to have, ripped abs and this and that. I think if you're moving your body, there's this great, I don't know if it's an organization, but it's health at every size. It's a philosophy, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, you could be a twig eating Twinkies. You just happen to be thin. And you can be a larger person doing yoga every day. Yeah. It's healthier to be the larger person doing yoga every day. I'm not a sizist, I guess. I think I made that up. But I don't know. It just bugs me. That's the whole fitness thing. And now with Instagram and all the fucking pictures, and it's just overload, Social media is tough.
Well, there is a thing in your industry going on about like whether someone can be fat and fit, right?
I think they can. Yeah. But then other people are
What's that debate like?
It's frustrating, because again, like I said, you can be thin and not do anything and eat crap and you're just not. And that's how I was until I was like 40. I could eat anything. Although I didn't, but I could. I mean, I could eat lots and lots of food. And most of the time it was healthy, but still it was like a ridiculous amount. And I would just be a twig. And then after I had my daughter, then things started to, starts to shift a little bit. But I think, I honestly, I just think there's a lot of bias against fat people. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's a prejudice that you can still have. And
it's
be an
the new
asshole
movement. Of the fat shaming.
Yes.
That's like the new movement thing.
Yeah.
Really, the only people you can still playfully make fun of are ugly people.
Yeah.
It's the only, because there's no coalition of the ugly or anything like that going on. There's no like unfortunate faces of America. That's not a thing. There's this comedian.
We're too good looking to start that. No, stop it. No, I don't want people to think I'm conceited. Trust me, I was so funny looking for so many years. As a teen, I could have been in that. You should have seen. It was a
Me
disaster.
too. Once upon a time. So how have you, as a sex positive person, interact with like the Howard Stern world? Because although I don't. It's of a different generation, so they are not, let's say, using sex positive PC terminology or always having the right mindset on certain issues. I would say.
I think at the end of the day, though, like if something comes up Howard's always super outspoken in terms of gay rights and like,
Sure.
why the fuck, like, why wouldn't that guy make a fucking cake for gay people getting
Sure.
married? Like, get over it, like, stop being such an idiot. He's really cool about transgender stuff. So I think even though they tease Ronnie, the limo driver, about getting stuff shoved up his ass, at the end of the day, they're just like, it's cool. I think a lot of it's shtick, I mean, I'm not like a Howard insider, but it is my dream to meet him. Howard.
Oh, you haven't met him yet?
No, I was on the wrap-up show, but I did
show.
sit next to Baba Booey, Gary Dell'Abate, so that was pretty exciting. He's very nice. But yeah, I think they just have such an accepting atmosphere there, and it's not like the '80s where he just interviews strippers all the time. Like it's a really different. Nothing that there's anything wrong with that. It's just a different kind of thing.
I was just curious if there's ever like if you ever felt pressure to like speak up when you heard something that might be off in the way that like if I'm in a group of like male comics and some people are spouting off on some bullshit, maybe making suggestions that, I never want my daughter to be a porn star. I'll be like, oh, we're going to have to pause real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever.
No, I mean, when I was on there, they were just, asking me different questions about some of the stuff that was going on and different things about anything having to do with sex. But it was it was all very positive. It was a good experience.
But now you're 20 plus years or 20 years, you said?
Oh, 20 years
of
with
marriage?
18 years of marriage, 20 years together.
So 20 years together monogamously with your husband, how are you the one that they go to for the sex stuff?
That's a good question. Well, it was like sex and health.
Sure.
Right. So you think, that's interesting. So you think you have to be No,
I don't think you have to be. I'm just asking in what way.
I hadn't thought about that. Well, I had so many years where I was just wildly sexual.
Sure. But this is also
a very different time that I was
20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I can't be up on like, if they were having a show on, apps and Tinder and that kind of thing, I would not be the go-to sex person. But
why are you their go-to sex person or one of their go-to sex people?
It's because of the clean. I honestly think it's because of the clean eating, dirty sex. It's a fucking great title. And then they met me, and I'm fun, and I was, shared stuff, and we laughed, and I was able to educate. What they did with me the first time, just so you know, it was more on health topics. It wasn't so much about sex. And they went through every single guys from Gary, why does he clear his throat all the time, to Ronnie's pegging, to Sal's depersonalization, derealization experiences, to JD, is he on the spectrum? Is he, because my daughter's on the spectrum, is he not on the spectrum? I mean, it was
God, can we have that talk at some point?
Yeah.
Because, I feel like the jury's still out on me.
Yeah, really? Okay, well, let me show you something real quick.
Because I'm just like, I don't know, do I make eye contact because like I'm just comfortable with it, or because I was taught I'm supposed to and I'm really good at rules?
I just wanted to show you that because that's my first book.
Easy.
It has nothing to do with sex, but I'm really proud of it. So I'd like to just mention it. And I looked, honest to God, I did not plan this. I looked right at the shelf and it was like, boom.
Well, this show isn't just sexual. We talk about love and relationships. This book is titled Easy to Love But Hard to Live With. Real People, Invisible Disabilities, True Stories. Now, the top part is, this is a book about dating me. Easy to love, but hard to live with. This is about me.
Yeah.
The rest of it is to be determined.
Well, there is a great interview with Henry Winkler. And I know a lot of young people will be like, who? Okay, he was on Arrested Development, but he was the Fonz.
He was the hey.
Come on, people.
Yeah.
You guys still know?
We know
People
him.
Still know? Because
Look,
he's the fucking best.
Every
he's such
3
a nice
years,
guy.
they throw him in a pretty big enough movie that we're like, oh, yeah, that guy.
I love him. Anyway, he is amazing. So he had has dyslexia. His parents called him a dumb dog growing up. People treated him like crap because back then people just thought you were stupid and lazy.
Right.
So I wrote a story about having a mother with severe sensory processing disorder who was just told she was crazy. And then I have a daughter who has autism spectrum, ADHD, and dyslexia. And so the book is about people who have the disabilities. They have their own stories. This is adults. Most stuff is for kids. That's why I wanted to do a book where adults get to share their experiences. It's also mental health issues. There's bipolar, schizophrenia. There's a lot of other mental health issues in here. Anything where you look at the person and you can't tell that there's a brain-based disorder or issue, difference, we like to call it. And then the other half of the book is people who love them. Because I was able to write about my mother, like having a daughter and my mother be similar and the challenges that come with that. And people were able to talk about, I love my bipolar sister, but she's a fucking pain in the ass, and it's not PC, but it's real. And people really, gravitated towards it who have these issues because you feel like you're so alone. I mean, that's how I felt when, and I lost my mother in my 20s. So I didn't figure out that she had sensory processing disorder until after she died. She never got diagnosed. She died thinking that she needs to just get over her anxiety. And that happens to a lot of people. So
I don't know how to segue back to the.
I know.
So
I'm
you're the
sorry,
go-to sex person. No, it's fine. Sometimes
but no,
we get
I'm glad.
deep.
No, I didn't mean to, but I just look over and I'm just so proud of that book. And I didn't write it. It's technically, it should say edited by Triffa Bliven Chazanoff, MA, and produced by Lisa Davis. I didn't do any of the editing. I'm the one
Your
who
agent
helped
did some
find
good negotiation.
No. Trisha did the
Gotcha.
editing.
So-
She's a fucking amazing.
No, I meant good negotiation got you an edited by title.
Yes.
Credit.
Yes, but it should. I don't think they put produced on a book, but they should because I didn't edit anything. I would read a story someone sent, and I'd be like, "That's amazing." Trisha would read it. Now, granted, she has OCD, and she'd say, "Oh my god, this is going to take me hours to fix," and I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." She would resend me the story, same story, but just written so much clearer, same tone, same everything, but just like it flowed like magic, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. That's so cool. But I'm going to keep everyone on track and I'm going to produce what's happening. I'm going to, you know what I mean? So, but they don't have that on a book, but they should. I should start a revolution. Be a book producer.
As for the disabilities or differences you can't see,
Yeah.
you mentioned on your show, one of your many shows, I was listening to on the drive up here.
Oh, great.
That you I don't know if you were saying it flippantly or seriously, but sex addiction.
Oh, no, I wasn't being flip. I know I was going to bring that up. I don't know if it was more like a sex love addiction where I think because being ignored so much growing up, I mean, I was kind of neglected because my mother was ill and didn't know what was wrong with her, and so
nobody was taking
nobody
sexual
wanted interest in me. And so once they did, I really thrived off it to the point of it would be more like I meet a guy, I sleep with him on the first night, and if he didn't call me, I literally would act like I lost the love of my life, and then I would do this again and again and again and again, and it was sad because there was a point where I remember just crying and being so devastated and. I couldn't be alone for like a second. I remember in graduate school, there was no guys there was no apps back then.
Yeah.
It's the late 90s. I couldn't meet anybody. There was one guy in my class. I wasn't even that attracted to him, yet I brought him over and seduced him. And then I'm like, ugh, I really don't like him. He fell for me and then I just dumped his ass. And I was like, that was really shitty. Like I just needed that attention. I needed someone to be like, oh, Lisa, you're so wonderful. You're so great. So it played out sexually, but I think it was more of like I don't know what you would call that, but I think it definitely was damaging to me.
Sure.
It really was.
The part where it's, about the feeling like you lost someone monumental after just fucking one time, that just seems like, not ever getting kind of taught or learning what like healthy relationships are like or what, expectations and things like that. It just sounds like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, well,
but the part of like sleeping with people to get the attention.
That's a sex addiction thing, isn't it? Kind of. I don't know.
Well, there's many who say sex addiction isn't even an addiction.
Well,
That's
I don't believe that.
But I mean, other than like extreme cases, I should say that there are people who think that is an overdiagnosed thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in maybe just someone's fucking a lot and just like not,
yeah,
having good judgment.
Sure.
That
yeah,
nature.
but if you use sex as an escape, to me, that is the same way you can use shopping or you can use food. I joke. I have a lot of food sensitivities.
Yeah.
If I could have eaten like 10 peanut butter sandwiches a day, I wouldn't have been sleeping around. I really feel that way. Like if I could have fed myself another way.
Yeah.
Although I don't actually, that's probably not true because I still like that male attention because I never got it. But I'd feel too sick after eating 10 peanut butter sandwiches. So it was easier just to sleep around. And it wasn't every guy I would get like, oh my God, I have to be with you. But there'd be this urgency where anytime I was single, I couldn't stand it for a second. I had to find somebody, anybody.
Someone to sleep with or just someone to date, that be dating?
Yes, dating, sleep with, be with me.
Just some sort of, not being alone.
Not being alone, yeah.
Well, I connect with the whole, finally getting attention from the opposite sex and then being like, oh my God, because like nobody wanted to touch me for forever. Until I got to college and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, your blue eyes. I'm like,
I know, beautiful. How'd they not get noticed in high school? I don't
They
get
got
it.
noticed, but would be like, this is the type of conversation that would happen with women in high school. Either I would write her like love poetry and then her friend would be like, yeah, no, she doesn't like you that way. She sees you as just a friend. And we weren't even friends. So I'm like, that seems weird. You could just say like, oh, she just doesn't like you. It's not like we were hanging out and then I
Yeah.
professed my love. It was like we never really interacted, and then I would profess my love. So you can't say like, oh, I see you as just a friend, because like, no, you don't.
You're not my fucking friend. Yeah.
Yeah, like
No, I was always cute. Oh, Lisa's cute, but
Oh.
no one wanted to go out with me. But I was cute. You know, I had like pretty eyes, and I was cute. And
But so I would get either that first one, or I would have, because I was a little, I was chubbier, and I even look at pictures now. I wasn't like that out of shit. I think I just was
no,
that
isn't that
self-deprecating.
weird when you look at yourself? And I found some old pictures. I was like, I actually was okay. I don't get like all kids were so
When they
I
say the same thing to you every day for so
You
long
start
and bully
to
you that way,
believe it.
I'm like, I guess I'm fat. I don't think I'm fat, but
Yeah.
like, I guess I am. They seem very convinced.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I was like weirdly unpopular in grammar school. And I'm telling you, I found like all the old class pictures. I was one of the cutest kids in the class, yet they treated me like a leper. And I think it's because I came from my house was my mother and my brother fought all the time. And my mother was sick and my dad was always out. You know, he was a good person. Like he was on the school board fighting for men to have time off when their babies are born. This is in the 70s.
Wow.
Like he was really progressive and into recycling and into this and that. But he was never around because he was out while my mom was ill and didn't know what was wrong with her and everything bothered smells, sounds. She couldn't drive on the freeway. She hid in her room for hours in the dark. And he's off doing great things for the world, but we fucking need you at home, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, but my point was that I think because I was shy, I was withdrawn, and I was depressed, I was unhappy. The kids, you're like easy target, you know?
Same. No self-love, no self-worth. They were
no.
like, that's the guy. I didn't matter where I showed up.
Yeah.
Boarding school, my local grade school, fucking at sleepaway camp in California.
Yep.
They will be like, wherever group of adolescents I'm amongst, they could always be like, this is the one we are going to take out or whatever on.
Yep, exactly. And then I was cute, and then puberty hit, and it was a nightmare. Like my nice kind of long silky hair literally turned to fuzz, and then everyone started getting figures except for me, and it was that kind of thing. And then, like I mentioned earlier, my best friend was gorgeous, and luckily she never abandoned me. She could have become one of the popular mean girls, like that pretty, but never did. We're still best friends. Anyway, so it was hard. It was like I kind of like felt like a loser since like first grade because the way the kids treated me, and then you're not developing in the same way. You're not dating. You're not doing the things. I mean, my exciting, evenings were spent watching Love Boat and Fantasy Island,
And I
if
think
anybody knows what I'm talking about.
And people know, but
Okay.
I think that's why I like making out is my second favorite thing to do.
It's
with
my
women.
first favorite thing to do. I love kissing.
Making out's a great
Luckily,
thing.
my husband's an amazing kisser.
Fantastic.
Oh God,
and-
kiss
but-
for hours. I love kissing. It's hard though because we're busy and the
Yeah.
kid, and don't get me started with summer. Because see, my daughter, at least during the school year, she takes the bus, so we could fuck when she's
Yeah.
at school. But now she's
Fucking
always
here
around.
all the time.
She's here all the time.
I don't want to go to camp.
I'm not
you
even
fucking
gonna
have to.
I know. I'm not even going to tell you how long it's been. It's been a while. Well, not a while,
since
but a
since
couple
y'all two got down.
weeks. Because it's just been. Welcome to married life with a
Hey.
with a child. I don't know who you're. I'm guessing your demographic is young, but I would hope
No,
so. You think?
I think it's like 25 to 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Pl- plenty-
All right, so
plenty
they
of-
got kids. They know.
Plenty of parents listening to this right now.
They know. It's tough. It's tough. But you got to make it happen.
Oh,
Hide in the
absolutely.
bathroom. Really. Do whatever you can.
Yeah. Yes, shorter sessions, little quickies here and
Yes.
there.
That's, yeah, exactly.
That was a thread in so we have a super secret Patreon only Facebook
Ooh.
group called the Champagne Room.
Nice.
And one of the questions that someone posed recently was like, fellow parents, like, how do you get it on with with the kids around, or do you wait till like asking for their logistical tips? I'd be like, I got 4 kids. The fuck do I do? I'm trying to fuck my husband or my boyfriend or my partner or my dates, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
There's really nothing sexy about wiping your ass, right? Never. Have you ever like wiped your ass with toilet paper and thought like, ooh, that feels great? Never. Oh, I'm wiping. I'm not sure if I got it all. I'm sometimes tearing the paper. I'm going through toilet paper. Okay, maybe it's not that drastic. I'm not taking monster shits every time. But the point is, it's not that fun to wipe your ass. But there's a better, cleaner, and slightly pleasurable way to clean up after you're doing the poops. Tushy is the easy to install home bidet attachment that I am just such a fan of. I almost don't want to leave my apartment because I know that like whatever bar I go to isn't going to have a Tushy bidet attachment. And I'm always just a little bit sad because of it. Yeah, this thing is easy to install, so easy. Even Billy, the idiot, was able to do it all on his own. Took me like 3.5 Sia songs to install the thing. Real simple, real easy. And now I live a life of luxury with just a wonderfully clean asshole ready to be puckered at a moment's notice. Every time I take a shit at my place, man, I feel refreshed. I feel clean. I feel presentable. And I'm saving money on the toilet paper too, because I'm not going through that every day. And you can go ahead and get your very own bidet attachment at hellotushy.com. You can even get 10% off when you use promo code MANWHORE. Now, are these things expensive? That's the thing. Not really. Yeah, they start for as little as $69. Not 5 easy payments of $69.99. No, I mean just $69. You can live like you're in Japan. I hear they have a lot of bidets in Japan. I don't know. Haven't been there. Go to hellotushy.com. Get 10% off when you use promo code MANWHORE. If I'm being fully honest, I'm pretty sure everyone in my family is going to get a Tushy for Christmas this year. I'm like 90% sure that's what I'm going to be doing. It's a great group gift. hellotushy.com. Promo code MANWHORE. Now let's get back to the show. But this, I think this part of the, the 20 years of monogamy, I was like, there's no way you can be a sex addict and get away with that. You know what I mean?
True. Although, let me say, the flirting online, I was getting a little bad with that, but I'm not going to get into details because But no, when I first got on social media, I got so much attention and I got all these DMs and I would spend time.
Tap back into the old.
It did. It was bad.
It's a new type of attention.
It was a new type of attention.
So it didn't have to be sex. It just had to be attention.
It wasn't sex. It's just attention. And I would engage with people and then they would say sexy things and then I'd be like, I shouldn't say anything. And then I'd kind of say something, but I'm married, but I would kind of.
Oh, you're bad.
Oh, you're bad.
Oh, you're so bad.
You're bad, but please go on. Tell me how beautiful I am.
Yeah.
And then that became bad because I would be like, did this guy write? Even if it wasn't sexual, it was still like, oh my God. And then I'd be pissed. I'd be upset. I'd be like, oh my God, that so-and-so guy hasn't written me in a week. And I'm like, honey, you're married. You're not.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? So it did. I told my husband I was having trouble. This story I can share because he knows about this. So because I was such a loser in high school in the dating world, even though I had a good group of friends and stuff, I wanted to go to my, well, now you're going to know how old I am. I'm 50. Okay. I wanted to go to my 30-year high school reunion. This was a few years ago. And my husband's like, you hated high school. Why do you want to go so bad? I'm like, no, I want to go. I want to go. The reason I wanted to go so bad is there was a guy that I had a huge crush on all through high school who we were kind of friends, but he never saw me as anything. And he saw me, a few years ago in a picture and he's like, wow, you're so beautiful now. Look at you and this, that. And then we started talking. He's like, you should come to the reunion. He's like, you want to go to the reunion to meet some guy that, that ignored you in high, he knows me so well.
Yeah.
He's like, he ignored you in high school. Oh, sorry. And now he's paying attention to you and you want to go and see him. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And he's like, you're not going to that reunion. I'm like, no, I want to go. And usually he's not that type of you're not going. But I was like, you know what? I don't think I should because I think because the attention can turn into something else. I don't know if I would have done anything, but it was also, I didn't like that I was going in that direction in terms of seeking. It wasn't about, I'm dissatisfied with my sex life or I want to be more experimental. It's more like that unhealthy need. Yeah. See what I mean? And that's the difference between I want to be non-monogamous because I really want to have these experiences versus I feel I'm getting older and I'm losing attractiveness or I'm doing this or I'm whatever it is.
That's healthy, but the other thing, is not. And that's a more inside. That's a on you thing to do.
So when he said you're not going, I was glad he said that because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go because if I really wanted to go, I would have gone. But I'm like, and then the guy ended up being this just horrible, racist, awful person. I'm like, but I didn't know that because I didn't take the time. I was like, oh, this guy I liked in high school thinks I'm hot. I should go and see him. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God, he's such a piece of shit.
It's one of the follies awful. Of being.
And I would have ruined everything.
Oh no.
And I hate you.
Yeah, it's what if you went up there and then you cheated on your husband with this guy and then you find out he's racist
Oh, like
And you'd be
white
oh,
power
It
guy.
would have been like the worst.
Like the white power kind of
Oh,
person. And I'm a
no.
Jew. I'm like, what are you even? Tiny knows I'm a Jew. I guess he made an exception. I'm like, what are you even doing? I don't understand.
You're like, I'm a Jew. And he's like, it's 2018.
Exactly.
The white nationalists are like, fine, let the Jews in, but the blacks, no.
Forget it. Yeah, no, they still hate us. But yeah, so that's when I was like, I need to go. So I went and saw this sex addiction therapist.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, like 3 years ago. But I didn't really jive with her, and it was really expensive. And honestly, she lived in this she worked in this building that is the most confusing place ever. Like you can get lost in there for an hour just trying to find and she even agreed. She's like, I have to leave this building. Like no one can ever find me. I just didn't feel like she got me, so I stopped seeing her.
Food wise.
Yes.
What are some we're like 2 or 3 fucking don't do it. It's going to just destroy.
Okay. The worst thing you can do is, first of all, trans fat, as everybody knows about trans fat, hydrogenated oils.
I
read labels.
You're not supposed to say trans fat. It's transgender fat now. Okay. You have to, I use the right term. No, trans fats. LBQT fats. No, it's just trans fats and they're not good. Transgender is fine. How do the trans fats do?
They're in almost all. You have to read labels.
But how do they affect the sexual?
They're really bad for your arteries.
Okay.
Here's something that might blow people's mind, but hopefully not. If you pay attention to health, the whole saturated fat thing being bad for your heart is bullshit. It's based on a study from 1950 from a guy named Ansel Keys, who basically was making money, and the sugar industry is involved and the whole thing. And it's really sugar and white flour and white rice and processed stuff that is going to raise your triglycerides, which is bad for your heart. It's going to clog your arteries. It's not saturated fat. It's not cholesterol. So if you call me up and go, oh my God, my brother's like, oh, my cholesterol is so high. I was like, you need to read The Food Shaman by Dr. Chef Mike Fenster. He's fucking awesome. He's in my book. And you really need to understand that it's processed foods that's killing us, because it has the trans fats, the artificial colors, the artificial flavors, the preservatives. My go-to meal, a little bit of grass-fed meat. You don't want to eat factory farm meat, though. I have to be very clear on that. You want to eat grass-fed meat, some healthy fat. If you don't like avocados, have some olive oil in your salad, have coconut oil. By the way, this whole American...
My salad?
Sorry. Yes.
What salad?
I'm going to get you to eat salad.
What salad am I
eating? You're going to eat salad. So I also want to just say that the American Heart Association is just so in the pockets of big agriculture. It makes me sick. They are like up the butt of this, in not a good way, of the soybean oil and the vegetable oil industry, because it's that vegetable oil. People, vegetable oil is good for you. No, it's not. It's really not good for you.
What about coconut oil?
Coconut oil is good for you, and that's the bullshit that the AMA came out and said it's not because of saturated fat. But they don't understand that saturated fat is, again, not the culprit. It is the highly processed foods.
Now, what can I put coconut oil besides my dick? Because right now, that's the only usage I've had for coconut oil.
I honestly don't like coconut oil. So what I do is you get something called MCT oil, which is made from coconut oil. And there's a vanilla flavor, which is really good. Just throw it in a smoothie, throw it in a whey drink. Make sure you have grass-fed everything. That's the thing. If you're going to eat meat, I'm not a big dairy fan. But my daughter is a fucking cheese fanatic. So I say, you can eat grass-fed cheese. I still don't like it, but you can eat some grass-fed cheese. So my thing is, it's not the like stereotypical paleo where people picture people with big drumsticks and like nothing else. I'm more of like big salad, lots of fruits and vegetables, grass-fed meats, organic chicken, cage-free eggs. You want that yolk really yellow, avocados, nuts, seeds,
and how does
dark
this
chocolate.
How does this help my sex life?
It's going to help your sex life because everything's going to flow better. So if we're talking about erectile issues, or even just in general, women having more blood flow down there, it's going to help with lubrication. It's going to help with sensation. It's going to help with the clitoral sensation. So just as much as you can, just stay. I know it's hard, but if you can stay away from packaged foods as much as you can. What's wrong with going to the store? And I know grass-fed meat's expensive, so you eat it less often. But why not have a little meat? Have a yam. Yams are really good because they don't fuck with your blood sugar.
I don't even know what a yam is.
Okay, I'm going to have to make you, I'm going to have to, before you go, I'm going to have to cook for you. This is ridiculous. But yeah, that's a good thing. And I got to get you to like avocados. I didn't like avocados for years. Now I love them. Put salt, get sea salt, pink Himalayan sea salt, pink Himalayan salt or sea salt on it. It's delicious. You don't like guacamole? And don't dip chips in it.
I don't dip chips in anything.
I just eat it with a spoon.
I like, that's the thing. My first ex, when my freshman year of college, she would say I was on like a beige diet.
Yeah.
Like anything that was tan, I would eat.
Yeah. You know what? You know what you would probably like? Sounds weird, but you can make breads, desserts, cake, cookies, whatever from almond flour. It's unbelievable. It sounds weird. You can't tell the difference. And it tastes actually better. Like you can go online and just Google almond flour cookies, or better yet, order clean eating, dirty sex. And you will get some kick-ass desserts that are very low in sugar. Because honestly, really, sugar is the killer. And I've been trying to quit lately, and I've been having some trouble because I discovered this awesome, it's called Nada Moo. It's this coconut milk ice cream. It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good. Oh my God.
I'm more partial to the Halo Top.
Yes.
A pint for 200 calories. Give it to me.
I've seen that. Is that
calories,
dairy
like
ice
that.
cream?
Probably.
Okay, I've seen that.
It's like 400 calories for an entire pint.
You're at least going to try the Nada Moo before you go. I have some upstairs. Oh my God, get the vanilla and you put a little cinnamon on it, or do you not like cinnamon? Cinnamon's really good.
I can fucks with some cinnamon.
Cinnamon is really good for your metabolism.
Okay.
It's really good. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, just stick with what grows. I say if it swims, roams the land, or grows out of the ground, it's good. Don't get factory farm meat though. That's a hard thing. When I go out to eat, I won't get meat unless I know. In most places, I think there was one. Oh, this is my story. There was a place in New York. Well, that was that funny, but it was called Gustav Organics or Gustav Organic or something. It was so good. It was paleo restaurant with some vegan stuff. So they had actual grass-fed meats, and they had the best fucking food ever. Every time I went to New York, which wasn't that often, but whenever I did, I would go there. Gust Organics. It was called Gust Organics. Then I was planning a trip to go, and I Googled it because a friend was going to meet me there, and it said it closed. I'm like, what the fuck? This was like the only good, really great organic paleo restaurant. So turns out the guy who owns it hooked up with the vegan. She convinced him to go all vegan. They went out of business. Nothing against vegans, but if you're going to have a restaurant that can actually have good local grass-fed meat, don't ruin it for people who like it. There's tons of vegan restaurants in New York, right? This was it. So bummed. So bummed. Anyway.
I got to ask this one question, because I think this is the question that so many us dudes, us penis havers have.
Sure.
Is it true that we can eat things to make our cum taste better?
Yes. One of them is pineapple. You don't like pineapple?
I was just hoping you were going to say like chocolate. Like that'd be
I
easy,
am big into dark chocolate, but it has to be 70% or higher.
What will make my cum taste better? Pineapple?
Yes, pineapple. That's all I know is pineapple. Isn't that embarrassing?
And this is true? This is like a proven thing?
This is a proven thing.
There's been a Pepsi challenge?
I don't know if there's been a Pepsi challenge, but I have researched that. And the funny thing is that's not in the book because, and I don't want to turn people away from the book because it's fucking awesome. It is a little on the, I don't know how to, I hate the word conservative. It's not conservative. It's not as racy as I would have liked it. The publisher, who's great, Skyhorse Publishing, they're trying to appeal to more of a women who watch The View and The Talk and that kind of audience. Because there is a lot of stuff in the book about older women and menopause and dealing with changes in your body and
the type of audience that sees
and
spanking as dirty sex.
Exactly.
I mean, there is a
oh
my God, he tapped my butt a little bit and it was wild.
Yes. So the dirty in this book is a play on words. Now the dirty on the Clean Eating Dirty Sex podcast isn't a play on words. Like we get more into stuff on the podcast. But the thing about the book, I just want to say, because I don't want people like, we're not going to get it now. It really will help you change your life. I mean, as a master's in public health and health ed, we learned how to help people change their lives. So I'm really proud of that. And you'll fucking laugh. I only told you one of many funny stories, and the recipes are good and all the advice. But we do have something about, the back door, but we called it the back door.
Right.
Like I wanted to say much more, but that's the thing. Like if it was self-published, it'd be like,
Right.
But I also want to sell books.
Sure.
And I want to help women who feel like they're really repressed and can't do anything. At least this can help them do something, if they're really feeling like, or if they're like, oh God, my husband and I have been together all these years. We don't have sex anymore. What can we do? And it gives people ideas. And there's also stuff about resentment because that'll fucking kill a sex drive.
Yeah.
Right. Sex life and communication and how to use iMessages and active listening and all these good things.
Fantastic.
Help people.
And when is the book out?
Well, it's funny. It said January 15th a couple weeks ago. Then it said January 22nd. And then the other day it said January 15th. So January 2019.
Okay.
But you can pre-order Clean Eating, Dirty Sex. And I think you'll be glad.
And where can they do that?
They can go on Amazon. They can go to skyhorsepublishing.com. I think it's just skyhorse.com. That's all I know now, but I know it'll be in other places. And as a matter of fact, I'm very excited. It's a local bookstore where I went in and I just asked I have a book coming out and I shop at your bookstore a lot. And she said, she's the owner, and she said, oh, let me look in this database. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Why don't we have a reading?
Yay.
I'm so excited.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So,
and where can people find you and your many podcasts?
Okay. So I encourage people to go to cleaneatingdirtysex.com. If you sign up for my newsletter, you will get, maybe I shouldn't have told my age, but you'll get a sexy picture of me nude with different fruit each month, which is fun. I had a professional photographer.
I like that, like me, you're also fine like disrobing just to get people to sign up for things.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, that's
like
really weird.
You pledge $1 on my Patreon, everybody. You can see my cock in various forms. And
yeah, I don't see. Yeah, it's weird. I thought my husband would be like, he's like, whatever gets people to sign up. But I did have a lot of people who were negative. Like, that seems really porny. Well, fuck you.
And what's wrong with it being porny? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Give me a break.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
Oh, my brother and sister flipped out. When they saw the thing, they were like, I don't want that associated with the book. Blah, blah. I said, you know what? This is my book. You guys help me. If you want it off the page of the book, because they helped me so much, I took it off the page of the book. There's a book page, and then at the top you click, and there's a podcast page. I still thought they were overreacting. It was ridiculous. Anyway, but they are very good to me and they saved me. So
you get some great tips and a nude photo of you every month.
Yes, almost nude.
Almost.
And then if you go to itsyourhealthwithlisadavis.com, you can choose from a show called Talk Fitness Today, Talk Healthy Today, Naturally Savvy, It's Your Health, and Just Ask David.
Fantastic. And you're on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter at healthmediagal1, just the number 1. And if somebody out there, maybe you, can help me change my Twitter name, I don't know how to do it. I've read the fucking instructions.
I will show you. Are you verified?
No.
Then I will show you how to do it. It's only if you're verified, you can't change your handle. But it's I will show you. That's easy.
Okay, because it drives me nuts. Okay, we're gonna go eat ice cream now.
Okay, fantastic.
Sorry, you're so much fun. Could you just come over every day and hang out with me?
Yeah, if you weren't in fucking Massachusetts. Am I allowed to say Massachusetts?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. If you weren't up in Massachusetts, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're a blast.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll hang out with your walking desk.
Yes, I have a walking desk and a Pilates machine.
Yeah. We'll take
and
turns.
I still have weird fat on my arms.
Don't worry about it. You're looking great.
Thank you. It just happens.
Why don't you say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody.
Again, the book is Clean Eating, Dirty Sex, available now for pre-order. Make sure you're going to go follow Lisa Davis on the social medias. She's on Twitter at healthmediagal1. You can, of course, find me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheBillyProcida. Use the hashtag #ManWhorePodcast. Share the show. Let us know what you thought about this episode. I love hearing the feedback. If you want to say something a little privately, not as publicly, maybe something longer than 280 characters, I love getting your emails. Send your comments, your questions, your booby pictures to manwhorepod@gmail.com. Did you know we're selling merch? Oh, yes, we are. Get yourself a pair of those Stay Slutty panties, or the I'm Saving Pegging for Marriage t-shirt, or some really fun, cute little buttons. You go to gumroad.com/manwhorepodcast. Get yourself some manwhore merch. Link in the show notes. Last but certainly not least, I am counting on my LA fan whores to show up on November 4th for the Manwhore Podcast live show in Hollywood. Hollywood, I'm gonna be a slut in Hollywood. Get your tickets today at manwhorepod.com/tickets. Next week, we've got Alyssa, who you might remember from the ManwhoreCon live show. She's coming on to do her very own episode. Check out swingleft.org. We're trying to flip some districts, people. Make sure you're registered to vote at the minimum. And until those midterms, stay slutty.